Commissioner Coleman is here.
Good morning, Commissioner. I think. Did I not? It's green now. It's green, right? Okay. Commissioner Coleman, can you hear me?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning, Commissioner Copeland.
Commissioner Root.
Can you hear me?
Good morning, everyone.
Yes, I can
Good
hear
morning.
you.
All right. Good morning, Commissioner Root.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Apparently, Commissioner Coleman has dropped off.
Okay, Commissioner Coleman is back.
All right, there you are. We thought we lost you there.
We did for a minute. I was putting it on mute and hit end instead. So I'm back.
All right. Is Commissioner Holtzman on? Commissioner Holtzman is having difficulty connecting, so we will give him a minute.
Holzman's here.
All right. That brings all of us together, so we will go ahead and call the agenda meeting to order as it is now 10:15. So I ask those participating on the call, please mute your phone unless you need to speak. We have 2 tariffs and new orders today and 3 case discussions. One fairly brief one pre-hearing, and then the remainder of the one from last week. So first up, tariffs and new orders, file number EE 2022-0071. Do you want to approve the minutes? Oh, yep, I would like to approve the minutes. Thank you, Judge, for reminding me of doing that. All right, first order of business is to approve the minutes from last agenda, July 27th. You all have seen those. Are there any additions or corrections? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes from July 27th, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those minutes are approved 5-0. Now on to tariffs and new orders. File number EE 2022-0071. This is in the matter of the application of Evergy Metro, Inc., DBA Evergy Missouri Metro, and Evergy Missouri West, Inc., DBA Evergy Missouri West, on the request for a waiver of various tariffs and regulations related to automated metering infrastructure. So we previously issued an order in this case denying Evergy's request for a waiver of certain provisions related to its AMI meters because those issues are presently included in its pending rate case. Evergy filed a motion for reconsideration of that order. This order denies that motion, finding that they did not raise any new considerations that weren't already considered in the original order. So with that, I recommend that we approve this order version 1. Commissioner Root?
I am in support.
Commissioner Coleman?
I'm in support.
Commissioner Holtzman?
I support the order.
Commissioner Kolkmeyer?
And I'm in support as well.
All right, all those in favor of approving the order as drafted version 1, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Enthusiastically approved 5-0. Next up, file number EO 2018-0211. This is in the matter of Union Electric Company, DBA Ameren Missouri's third filing to implement regulatory changes in furtherance of energy efficiency as allowed by MEA. This order accepts the EM&V reports filed by Ameren for its program year 2021 under MEA. So with that, I recommend we support this order version 1. Commissioner Root,
I am in support.
Commissioner Coleman,
I support the order.
Commissioner Holzman,
I support the order.
Commissioner Kolkmeyer.
And I do as well.
All right, all those in favor of approving the order as drafted version 1 say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Order is approved 5-0. That concludes reports and orders. We will get started on our 3 case discussions. First up is Judge Hatcher. I believe you have 2 of them, so we'll go ahead and knock both of those out because those are the 2 short ones. So let's start with the ER 2022-0129 and 130 in Evergy Metro.
Thank you, Chairman. This memo gives the necessary details for the upcoming local public hearings in the Evergy, Missouri Metro and Evergy, Missouri West general rate cases. The hearings will all be held via WebEx, which also allows participation by telephone. There will be 5 virtual local public hearings held August 8th through the 10th.
Okay. Any questions for the judge regarding the virtual local public hearings in the Evergy case? All right, hearing none, that concludes case discussion on that one. Let's go to the Ozark Medical complaint.
Thank you, Chairman. This memo is the post-evidentiary hearing discussion memo prepared for the Commission's consideration. Commissioners will recall that this is Ozark's Medical Center complaint case regarding its cash-out imbalance, which is just under $500,000 that it incurred during Winter Storm Uri. The parties presented 2 questions for Commission resolution, and I have recommended a third.
Okay. For this, I'll go ahead and kick it off. It's a difficult case given who the complainant is and the service that they do for the community. And I wish that Summit and the medical center could have reached a payment agreement to spread the costs out over some years. But the fact of the matter is the medical center elected to be billed as a transportation customer. And that comes with certain benefits, but also certain risks. The company was aware of those risks. They testified that they were aware of those risks. And in this situation, their choice to be a transportation customer did not work out to their benefit. But that's how I see it. It was their choice. So I would recommend an order finding that no rule, statute, or commission order was violated, that an AAO is not appropriate in this situation, and that the commission lacks the authority to require Summit to offer OMC a payment plan. Commissioner Roop, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. It's unfortunate, the situation, but echo your comments on all 3 points. The only thing I would maybe add is would encourage the company to work out some type of a payment plan, voluntarily between the company, between the 2 entities and stuff, over a shorter time frame that was kind of mentioned in the hearing. But I would encourage them to continue to seeking that, but I agree with your position on all 3 points.
Thank you, Commissioner. I would also echo your comments and encouraging that as well. Commissioner Coleman?
Yeah, I think both your comments, Mr. Chairman, and Commissioner Roop's comments are in agreement with where I stand on this. It's an unfortunate situation, but this is the best we can do relative to this situation. So I am in agreement with you.
Okay. Commissioner Holtzman?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I agree with the points you've made and the point Commissioner Root made. and just say that during the hearing, it appeared that there was a time frame that potentially could work, and I would just suggest that they seek a remedy that makes sense for, mostly the folks who rely on this health center in that area to continue operation. I would hope that they could get it worked out. So I agree with you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Kolkmeyer?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wholeheartedly thank them for the service they do to their community in the healthcare realm. But I also agree with you, Mr. Chairman, and Commissioner Roop's comments as well. So I'll be supporting your positions.
Okay. Judge, that gets you what you need?
Thank you, Chairman.
All right. Thank you, Judge. So that concludes our second case discussion. Final case discussion today is the conclusion of the Liberty securitization case with Judge Woodruff.
Yes, this is, as in a continuation. We resolved the first three issues last week, so now we're issues 4 through 8. You all have a memo describing the positions of the parties and the issues. So.
Okay, so Commissioners, we'll go ahead and march through the remainder of that memo, starting with question 4. I do want to say that the judge has asked us to note that it appears that the parties will need to provide some updated numbers, I think based on the decisions we made last week.
That's correct.
And perhaps some of the decisions that we're going to make today. So it's your intent then to order the parties to update those numbers by delegation in more detail?
Yes, that'd be similar to what we used to do with scenarios in rate cases, where I just ask them to update their numbers so that we can be sure the final numbers that we put into the order are correct.
Okay. So with that in mind, let's look at question 4. What are the estimated upfront and ongoing financing costs associated with securitizing qualified extraordinary costs associated with Winter Storm Uri and the energy transition costs associated with Asbury? On this issue, I recommend that we use the company's number reduced to reflect the savings that they reported would result from consolidating the two cases into one order. Because that was an initial question, and I think we decided last week to do one order instead of two. So the company's number, taking those savings into account, and then adding the amount in for staff's consultants, and I think that should result in a number of $7.9 million. Commissioner Roop?
I am in agreement.
Commissioner Coleman?
I concur.
Commissioner Holzman?
I agree.
And Commissioner Kolkmeyer?
I concur.
All right, question 5, with the issuance of securitized utility tariff bonds and imposition of securitized utility tariff charges provide quantifiable net present value benefits to customers as compared to recovery of the securitized utility tariff costs that would be incurred absent the issuance of bonds. On this one, I agree with the company that there is quantifiable net benefit or net present value. Commissioner Roop?
Yeah, I agree that there was as well.
Commissioner Coleman?
I agree.
Commissioner Holzman?
Yes.
And Commissioner Kolkmeyer?
I also agree.
Okay, and then the other part of that question, what is the appropriate discount rate to use to calculate net present value of securitized utility tariff bonds, costs that would be recovered for Winter Storm Uri and Asbury through securitization? On this one, I support staff's recommendation to use a blended rate of the long-term debt and the weighted average cost of capital, which should be around 5.16%. Commissioner Roop?
I agree with the blended approach as well.
Okay. Commissioner Coleman?
I support staff's position.
Commissioner Holzman?
Staff's position.
Commissioner Kolkmeyer?
And I concur.
All right. So 6 and 7 are similar in nature, so we'll go ahead and consider them together. Regarding any designated staff representatives who may be advised by a financial advisor or advisors, what provision or procedures should the commission order to implement the requirements of section 393-1700.23H? And then what other conditions, if any, are appropriate, is question 7. So on this one, I support the conditions that staff has proposed here, but I also acknowledge Liberty's request that staff not be directly involved in the final stage of placing the bonds into the market. So my understanding is that the conditions proposed by staff don't interfere with that, and so I support their proposal. Commissioner Root?
Yes, I am in agreement with the staff position on 6 and 7.
Okay. Commissioner Coleman?
I'm in agreement, Mr. Chairman, with your statements.
Commissioner Holzman?
I agree.
Commissioner Kochmeyer?
Sorry, I went on mute. I also agree.
All right. So the final question then in 8, how should securitized utility tariff charges be initially allocated among retail customer classes? Liberty's proposal omitted certain customer classes. So in this, I'm going to support staff's approach as being the most reasonable. Commissioner Root?
I agree, staff's position.
Commissioner Coleman?
Staff position.
Commissioner Holzman?
Staff.
And Commissioner Kochmeyer?
I concur.
All right. Well, that gets us through all the issues. I think, Judge, does that have everything you need?
I believe it does.
All right, and then you'll be issuing the delegation
Yes,
to get some updated numbers.
right.
All right, thank you for that. That concludes our case discussions. All we have left is scheduling. So today, again, through Friday, August 5th, we have the continuing evidentiary hearing in EF 2022-0155. That's Evergy's application for a financing order authorizing the financing of extraordinary storm costs through the issuance of securitized utility tariff bonds. That is in room 310 with Judge Clark, and I believe they're reconvening at 10:45. Yeah. Monday, August 8th, we have a local public hearing in ER 2022-0129. That's Evergy Metro's request for authority to implement a general rate increase for electric service. That will be via WebEx only at noon with Judge Hatcher. Tuesday, August 9th, local public hearing in ER 2022-0130. That's Evergy West's request for authority to implement a general rate increase for electric service. That will also be via WebEx at noon with Judge Hatcher. Wednesday, August 10th, we have agenda at 10:15 a.m. We also have local public hearings in ER 2022-0129 and ER 2022-0130. That is both of Evergy's requests for an implement of a general rate increase. That will be at noon with Judge Hatcher via WebEx. Wednesday, August 17th, agenda at 10:15 a.m. There's also an on the record in staff's investigation of matters concerning the Rush Island Energy Center belonging to Ameren, Missouri. That will be in room 310 at 11 a.m. Wednesday, August 24th, agenda at 10:15 a.m. Monday, August 29th through Friday, September 9th, is currently an evidentiary hearing in ER 2022-0129. That's Evergy Metro's request for authority to implement a general rate increase. That will be in room 310 at 9 a.m. with Judge Hatcher. And then Wednesday, August 31st, we have agenda at 10:15 a.m. So that gets us out through the end of August. Any comments, questions, or requests regarding scheduling through August? All right, hearing none and with no other business coming before the body, we will stand adjourned. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.